5 IPG. Five IPG. 5 IPG. 5 IPG. 5 IPG.
'Cause trying, I can never do right. It's just so hard.
5 RPG.
Going to hell.
Man, don't you hate when you're all like,
Gamer. Going to hell.
man, don't you hate when you're all like, man, I want to kill some rats, and then the bitch ass animal company's like, no. So, what now?
know what counts. Every inch is no room for jealousy. I've got no time to till I don't know what counts. Every inch is
I feel personally attacked right now.
No, I'm just kidding. Having an emo phase can also build character. I honestly think, this may sound super weird, I honestly think some of the best looking people are people who like had an emo phase and then grew past it and like took all of the knowledge with them. You know? People who like maybe when they were younger made some questionable decisions, but in the process did learn how to like, how they wanted to portray themselves. I think that's important. But also, not buying your own clothes as a child doesn't make you a rich Lamborghini flexing boy. But James, I'm still with you. We're good. We're good.
In the 7th grade, I went through an I need to look cool phase. And one time, I saved up quite a bit of money, so me and my mom went on a shopping spree at Kohl's. Hashtag not sponsored. I was going to impress everyone. I was going to look so cool with my brand new 2 pairs of jeans.
Oh, yes.
I'll get this normal blue pair, and then the exact same pair, just in case I spill ketchup on the first pair. Yeah! That's another reason why I'm pro have your kids pay for their own clothes. So that way they learn how expensive clothes shopping is. Seriously, 2 pairs of jeans was $70. Do you know how many Pokemon cards I could have bought? Probably enough to make my own pair of Poke Pants. And that's when I learned about the magical land of Goodwill. At Goodwill, you could buy mediocre, questionably stained-looking jeans for 1/4 of the price of Kohl's. And since I had to buy all my clothes and I was unemployed, I was at Goodwill every other Saturday for that half-off deal. You're at Goodwill and everything's half off. That's like a double sale, people.
I'm a supporter of Goodwill and thrift stores, absolutely. I'm really curious. Goodwill and thrift stores are great, and I like giving old clothes of mine to thrift stores. So far, this is the most that I've like questioned James's judgment. Like, where did you get the money to buy clothes as a like child? I don't understand. I agree that buying expensive clothes is unnecessary, and it can be really silly if you are not like well within your means to do so. Like, I don't buy expensive clothes, really. This shirt was probably 20 bucks. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Here's the thing. Typically, clothes stores have a certain style they specialize in. Tilly's, you know you're gonna get that hip LA style clothes. At Old Navy, you know you're gonna get that white boy, Ohio look. And H&M, you know you're gonna get demonetized. But when you step inside your local Goodwill, you don't know what you're getting. You get every style of clothing all in one place. I got my favorite t-shirt from Goodwill. I even wore it to this panel at VidCon. You know, the panel where I didn't even talk into the microphone, so you couldn't hear half the words I said.
Ah, but James, I don't want to wear clothes that have already been worn by other people. They're gross. Ugh, cuties and herpes.
Yeah, no, that's true. You don't know who else has worn your clothing. But then again, you could be wearing something that was also worn by
Justin Bieber. Could you imagine you buy a new shirt, it's your new favorite shirt, and then you find out after the fact, oh my gosh, this was owned by Justin Bieber. Here's the problem. That's never gonna happen because Justin has said in an interview that he doesn't wash his clothes, he throws them away. At least he does that with underwear. I can't imagine what he does with other clothes, which I think is whack. This is actually a good advice to any of you guys. If you have old clothes that you don't want anymore, if they're still wearable, yeah, donate them. Please don't throw them in the trash. That is such a waste.
Yeah, that's right. I donate my clothes to Goodwill. Reduce, reuse, recycle, baby.
Yeah.
Why would someone make a pair of pants out of Pokemon cards and give it away? I'm not saying don't buy expensive clothing. Buy whatever you want to buy and can't afford. If there's 2 shirts, one is $40 and one is $5, and you really, really like the $40 shirt and hate the $5 one, you should get the $40 shirt because you'll end up wearing it more often, so you get more use out of it. In economics, there's a term used to measure how much happiness a product will give you, and it's called utils.
Utils? Utility. Bro, I was like, I'm gonna sound smart for half a second here. I literally went to business school for 4 years. I I didn't learn much, but one thing I learned was what utility was. And now James is gonna come and change the word. James, you're killing me on this. Utils? Am I tripping? Is this an American term because I went to Canadian business school? Utils? A hypothetical unit measuring satisfaction. I guess that's like a more specialized version of utility, because utility is how much value you get out of something, not economically, but it can apply to so many things. But I guess it means satisfaction. Oh, James, you almost made me feel smart. It feels bad.
Sometimes buying more expensive things will give you more utils of happiness, so it's worth it to buy expensive clothing. But for me, I get way more utils buying a shirt for $5. You cannot put a price on all the oodles and oodles of utils I get for wearing a shirt I like for $5. You can wear your Supremes and your Abercrombos or whatever all you want. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense spending that much money on a white t-shirt with an ironed-on logo. There's no material in that shirt that makes it as expensive as it is.
True.
Oh, never mind.
True. That was good. That is true. That is true. See, that's why, listen, I own a couple designer things here and there, but I have no desire to buy like a shirt from a designer, because that seems just unnecessary. Like, for example, I wear these Gucci flippy floppersons around my house all day, every day. These have already gotten thousands of hours of use, and these cost less than a sweater from Gucci. It costs like literally like a fifth of the cost of a sweater from Gucci. So like the sweater, you're not gonna wear that every day, right? It's not gonna just become your identity. You can only wear it like once every couple weeks or something, but like you're not gonna get the same usage out of it. Like, to me, yeah, that I do think that's silly.
Unless you are just making unfathomable amounts of money, then do what you want as long as you're comfortable.
What you're really doing is paying for the name brand. So you might as well staple two $20 bills to your shirt and write in Sharpie, "Look everyone, I got $40. But again, if you like the design of a white shirt and a red rectangle, then you be happy wearing it. I'm not telling you what to wear, but I will tell you this. Don't judge someone based on their clothing. That's like the most shallow thing a person can do. Even if someone is wearing old hand-me-downs or a really expensive name brand t-shirt, don't treat people differently because of their clothing. There's a certain YouTuber going around, I'm not gonna say any names, but I will draw pictures, who's teaching kids that their value as a person is correlated to the amount of money they spend on clothing.
Listen, I'm pretty sure I know exactly who James is talking about here. I know exactly who he's talking about, because this was 5 years ago. I totally know. But I'm not going to get into it because this person happens to have had like a really, really hard few months. If it were like years ago and this was still happening, yeah, I'd jump in with you, James. I'm on your team. But right now, I'm not going to get involved.
Okay, real talk over now. School uniforms! People who support school uniforms say that uniforms are better because then the students don't have to think about what they're going to wear the next day.
Fair.
Because everyone has to wear the same outfit.
Fair.
But like, I already don't think about what I'm wearing. That's probably why I'm naked right now. Okay, that's not entirely true. I'm not just going to walk outside wearing a pink poncho. I have
Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna say any names, says James. There's a certain YouTuber, says James, and then just rip off the Band-Aid. Yep, no subtlety anymore. Okay.
I have standards. I just buy all the cheap clothing I think looks nice. In high school, I mostly wore solid color V-neck t-shirts, and one time a kid on the very last day of school told me, "James, you always wear solid color V-neck t-shirts. You're like a cartoon character."
Viator's 24/7 customer service makes it easy to triple confirm that the Coliseum tour can handle grandma. Find travel experiences for you at Viator.com.
That's what I'm going for. I've always wanted to be a cartoon. I don't think you realize how much I love cartoons.
There are some YouTubers who have like a costume, like a uniform, like they wear the exact same shirt all the time. And I think that can be really good for building an audience and building a brand or whatever. But I do think in the long term, it gets kind of boring and like you're not gonna keep that up forever. And if you wear the same thing in like every video for like 15 years straight, you kind kind of just always look the same. I feel like you could kind of lose people. And I don't mean that in a shallow way of like, oh, they're not getting any new clothes. I'm just strictly talking like, you want things to evolve, you know? I feel like I'm talking way too much. Am I talking way too much? I am sorry.
One time I bought those shoes with the really fat tongues. I thought they
Whoa.
looked cool, but they certainly didn't feel cool. They didn't have any support for my soul. I couldn't go running in them, so what was
They're
even
a
the point?
pain.
And apparently you're not supposed to tie the laces of those
Oh
shoes.
my
I'm not sure. Someone
gosh.
just told me, hey man, you know you're not supposed to tie the laces of those shoes, right? So I had to bury the laces inside my shoe,
Yep.
and I was constantly stepping on the sharp
Yep.
aglets.
Relatable. Yo, James, go off, my king. Get him, James.
Constantly stepping on the sharp aglets.
Get him, James. Yeah, I never wore the long-tongued shoes, but those always seemed insane. I did wear like super loose skate shoes when I was younger where I didn't tie the laces, but I guess not super loose. This is actually crazy now that I think about it. When I was in like grade 8, I did wear shoes where if I flicked my foot right, I could just launch that shoe across the field. It's enough where I know how to hold my feet to run and to walk, but there's a certain kick I can do where that thing's going flying. And I would never do that now. That is so undesirable. No offense, adults who do this, but I don't understand the point of choosing a shoe that barely stays on your feet and it's a chore to keep on your foot for the sake of fashion. Listen, if you're wearing flip-flops or whatever, that's a totally different thing. But if you buy full shoes that have laces and look like a normal shoe that should stay on your feet, but it doesn't stay on your feet easily, like it's a job to keep it on, like to me, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Also, people, if you haven't done it yet, a reminder to make sure you're subscribed to James's channel. He's the one who did all the hard work on these videos. I'm just out here running my mouth. And also, if you haven't done this, if you could boop the like button on this video, that would make me happy. It would help support me and doing what I'm doing. And if you're watching the video and you're not subscribed, that would also be really cool. I would appreciate it.
So I had to bury the laces inside my shoe, and I was constantly stepping on the sharp aglets.
Aglets!
And all the cool kids saw my shoes and said, hey, James, those are some pretty fat tongues you got there.
Not as
You want
fat
to come
as
sit
your...
at our lunch table? And I said, no, being cool sucks. So now I wear tennis shoes everywhere. Some of you watching are in 7th or 8th grade right now, and you might be going through your own I need to look cool thing. And I just want to say to you little youngins, you don't need to impress or prove yourself to anyone.
Aw.
Wear whatever makes you happy and that you can afford. And you still have to follow the school's dress code, which is a whole other can of worms. I'm not encouraging anyone to break the rules, okay? All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, what really matters is that you're in 7th grade. Nothing you do will make you cool. I'm sorry. Everyone regrets 7th grade, okay? Just start putting on deodorant, do the homework, you'll get through this.
Get him, James. Oh, there's nothing I love more than a surprise savage moment. That is totally true. I mean, yeah, don't worry about how other people perceive you. I have obviously gone through like my own phases of, getting made fun of and like certain people. I mean, to this day as an adult, there are a lot of adults who look at me and they're like, ugh, like, look at that. You know, there are adults who judge me for the way I look, obviously. I mean, there's kids, I have YouTube comments. I always get judged for the way I look, but I don't care because to me and to the people who are like me, I think I look cool, which I know is like a cringy thing to say, but I like how I look and I like that I have my own style. I feel like I have my own style and I'm not doing it to like impress specific people, but I feel more like me when I'm dressed like me. And that's all you need to worry about if that even matters to you. Just feel like yourself. Literally be yourself. It's that simple.
Holy shit, it's 2002. What screamo band are you in?
What a random thing to do.
Oh,
what is this picture?
RAR XD, that's what it is.
Anyways, that was a fun one. I had no idea what this video was going to be like. I thought it was gonna be like, you're ever in the aisle of a shirt store and the cashier comes up to you and says, hey, you look like you should wear pants on your head. Like, I thought it was gonna be, like, shopping stories. That totally was not how I expected that to go, but it was really good. Also, this feels like as good a time as any. I currently have shirts. The dumbest shirt of all time. If you guys wanna talk about not caring what people think about what you wear, there couldn't be a more I don't care what you think about what I wear shirt than this. I promise I'm gonna put out shirts that actually look good soon, but for now, we're gonna keep this in the store for a little bit longer. So if you wanna get that shirt shirt while it still exists. robertidk.net. Go pick it up. And yeah, that shirt will forever be an iconic shirt, I think. Now this one I'm very, very excited for. Growing Up Without Cable, which is kind of a hilarious title because it's a title that you have to be like at least in your 20s to really feel and understand. Because who even uses cable anymore? Cable at this point is outdated because your phone can do so much. Like, you definitely don't need cable to be a lazy screen addicted person like myself. But anyways, if you don't understand what he's talking about, if you're maybe very young, cable was what you had on TV. It was the channels. If you wanted to watch cartoons before the odd ones out, you had to turn on your TV, and if you had cable, you could go through the different channels and watch. But if you didn't have cable, it's just like a world that you didn't have. And instead, you had to just be creative in other ways because the TV wasn't gonna do it for you. So anyways, I'm really interested to see this one. Let's go, people. 3, 2, ichi.
Imagine if Netflix, YouTube, and Hulu never existed. What would you be watching right now? Would you be watching this? I don't think so. You'd be watching this box right here. A television? On this device, instead of picking what you wanted to watch and when you wanted to watch it, the television would decide all that for you. And instead of watching a single 5-second skippable ad in the beginning, you'd have to watch 5 30-second long unskippable ads.
But not just once though. Like every 8 minutes, you'd have to watch like 5 30-second non-skippable ads.
Oh, what a morning. Why are these things always so early? I'm starving. No time for breakfast. What do you expect? You're gonna be hungry, of course. What's this? A Kellogg's Nutri-Grain bar. Isn't this for health nuts? I mean, am I gonna like it? That's the question.
Delicious crust with fruit filling without preservatives, and it's even low in fat.
Apple cinnamon. I love it. But of course, it's from Kellogg. They do cereal, they do breakfast. It all tastes great.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! You know, like I used to be bothered when I saw YouTubers putting like an unnecessary amount of ads on their videos, but I did kind of realize like it's still way less than we have to watch if we watch cable or regular TV. At the same time, if you put like an ad every minute, you're a psychopath and a bad person. Show your audience some respect.
Can you think of anything more annoying? An advertisement right in the middle of your show? I don't know if my parents were being cheap or trying to discourage an unhealthy habit of watching too much TV, but growing up, my parents didn't have cable television at all in the house. Now, in this modern day and age of online content, some of you are living perfectly content lives without cable.
Yeah.
I know I am. But you have to understand, in the early 2000s, online video wasn't a thing. Yeah, YouTube was created in 2005, but what did that have?
Let me soak that in real quick. Guys, the old YouTube homepage with the embed link, the ugly embed link right there, but this is where the channel was, the sub button, the banner right there. Guys, I hope you know I posted videos in 2006. Not as me, I didn't film myself, but I edited videos since then. And so I posted like meme videos on YouTube since like 2006. And so this is like a real thing for me. Like I was using YouTube all day, every day when it looked like this. And I was posting on it too. Talk about longevity. How have I spent the last like 16 years of my life making YouTube videos and I haven't gone insane? At no point have I ever gone remotely insane and become a crazy person who has crazy thoughts and feelings. That's never happened to me. Okay, I think you get the joke now.
Yeah, YouTube was created in 2005, but what did that have? This guy at a zoo? That's lame. So being an early 2000s kid, you had to get your cartoons through the TV. And if your parents didn't pay $65 a month to get cable, then you didn't get the channels with SpongeBob, Jimmy Neutron, or Courage the Cowardly Dog. The only thing you got was this green brother and sister called PBS Kids. And whatever these things were. PBS Kids stands for Public Broadcasting Service. Kids.
Oh, I understand now. How do I understand this now? That just blew my mind. PBS is public broadcasting, and that's why it's called PBS, and that's why it's channel 2, and you can get it without cable. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm just getting this. I can't believe it. I had no idea. James, you just blew my mind, bro. I just thought PBS was just a company. I thought PBS was just a company, just like CTV, CNN, whatever. I thought PBS was just its own thing. I can't believe this. Incredible.
That meant all the shows on PBS Kids were government or privately funded. So the shows on PBS didn't really have any commercials per se, but they did have the same sponsorship ads that would play a message before every show. If you grew up on PBS Kids, then Juicy Juice and Where a Kid Can Be a Kid is just engraved in your memory. And also, every show would thank you, the viewer, for watching, and I think that's really nice. So, everyone watching this, you're welcome.
No, James. The commercials he's referring to, we didn't have in Canada. It's funny how there's little things where, like, for the most part, Canada and the States culturally are very similar. And we see a lot of the same shows. But then there's always just, like, a few random shows that the other country has never heard of. Like, there were so many Canadian cartoons, like Carl Squared. Whack show. I'm sorry, whack. Here we go, people.
One night I was in my room, surfing online like I always do. I'm stuck with myself again. My clone is my new best friend. Come square.
I swear that song sounded so much better in my head. I remember that sounding so much better. I remember the song. I remember that ear-bleeding melody.
I'm stuck with myself again.
But I did not remember it sounding so... I was like, that sounded so clean in my head. We gotta hit that one more time.
I'm stuck with myself again. My clone is my new best friend.
Carl Squared.
Freaks of a feather, now and forever.
Carl Squared. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm blowing my own mind right now. That was just one show. There were a lot of shows that were just in Canada.
I'm kinda glad my parents didn't buy cable, because instead of spending hours of my time watching mindless television, I spent hours of my time watching television with morals and math. Yep, a lot of shows on PBS were either educational or taught you how to be a good person. The shows I'm gonna mention had pretty crazy concepts, but the conflicts in each episode were very down-to-earth and slice-of-life-y, almost like the shows were made for children. Like in Clifford the Big Red Dog. It's a show about this girl's dog who grew up to be the size of a freaking house for no reason except for the fact that the girl loved the dog so much that he grew up to be a monster. So that means if your dog is normal-sized, you don't love it enough. And it probably doesn't love you.
Yeah, Clifford is so ridiculous. The concept is so crazy.
Yeah, a giant red dog is a pretty weird premise, but the episodes were about everyday things. Like this blue dog feels bad that he tore up his owner's sweater, and his friends tell him to just be honest, and he does, and everyone's happy. Or the episode where this new dog moves into town, but he's missing a leg, and then Clifford and his friends have to learn that having 3 legs still means you can accomplish a lot of things any normal human can do. I mean, dog. And I rate this show a 10 out of 10.
Wow, 10 out of... Whoa, that's brave. Calling Clifford a 10, that's brave.
I hate Clifford the Big Red Dog. I hate him. There's 50 books about Clifford the Big Red Dog. 50 books. There's 7 books about Narnia that cover the birth and death of a nation and mice with swords and a lion who's a god. They did it in 7 books. 50 books about Clifford, the Big Red Dog. And they all tell the exact same story. Look how big this dog is. That's it. That's it. Look how big this dog is.
Oh my gosh. James is definitely making it sound like there's more of a plot to it than that, but I'll take both explanations. I will take both. I'm good with either.
Next is Dragon Tales, the show that made dragons kid-friendly. There's Org, he's the biggest, not so brave of heart. There's Cassie, she's so shy, but so very smart. There's Zack and Wheezy and their tales of fun, cause you know 2 heads are better than 1. Dragon Tales, it's almost time for Dragon Tales. The show was pretty similar similar to Clifford. The characters would spend an episode learning everyday things like how to do a cartwheel, or they would try to make it rain so they could show their friend what a rainbow looks like. And there was also this grandpa dragon who knew Spanish for some reason.
Don't come too close, niños.
And that wasn't the weirdest thing on the show, actually. There was also a dragon character in a wheelchair, which, just like Clifford, is a good character because it teaches kids that disabled people are still people who can accomplish a lot of things. But I think it's a weird combination of
dragon,
two
yeah.
things. A dragon, a mythical beast known for destroying cities, in a wheelchair? If you wanted to stop a dragon from destroying your city, then you just don't install wheelchair ramps anymore. I should stop talking. I rate the show a 10 out of 10.
Another 10! That was hysterical. Okay, that was hysterical. That was really funny. First of all, Dragon Tales, Dragon Tales. Wait, I gotta sing along to the actual thing. Oh my gosh, this has 13 million views?
And he wished on a dragon scale, and
that's what started Dragon Tales.
Around the room the dragons flew, but
Let's
Ellie and
go.
Max knew what to do. They climbed on the backs of the dragon friends. Now the adventures never end.
Dragon Tales, Dragon Tales. It's almost time for Dragon Tales. Come along, take my hand. Let's all go to Dragonland. Oh my gosh, the theme song was better than the show, bro. It was better than the show. I hated that show. I thought it was so boring.
Now let's talk about Arthur. Here's some fun trivia. Arthur is supposed to be an aardvark. Personally, I don't see it. Basically, it was a show about Arthur and his other furry friends learning lessons, but Arthur tended to tackle more serious subjects than the other two shows. Like, they have episodes where DW hears her parents get in a fight and she worries about them getting a divorce, or the episode where Arthur Falcon punches his little sister, and even having to deal with someone you know getting cancer.
What? Cancer?
The character gets treatment and lives, by the way, because it's a kid's show. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10! Okay, James. I'm not gonna go on a 20-minute spiel after every single show. I guess PBS shows, I just found them boring. Like, SpongeBob is my favorite childhood show of all time. Anything after season 3 does not exist to me. It's dead to me, okay? Just let's clarify that before I talk about SpongeBob. Anything after season 3, no. Get that out of my sight. The first 3 seasons are as good and funny and entertaining as a kid's cartoon can possibly be. That is why you still see memes and references from those seasons to this day. You're not gonna ever see me put in a meme from the new seasons. It's not gonna happen. But anyways, my point is, to me, that's a 10 out of 10 show. As a kid, I had too much imagination. I was bored with the other shows. I couldn't really get into them. Like the ones with like morals and like just long conversation. I don't know.
Next, let's talk about my favorite show on PBS Kids.
Whoa.
Cyber Chase.
Whoa.
Cyber Chase, we're moving. We're beating Hacker at his game. Don't come in there.
Never heard of it.
We'll get him every time. This show didn't teach kids morals or how to properly treat the disabled. It taught them something far more important.
Math?
Math. Cyber Chase is set inside a virtual computer world, and this one character named Motherboard was supposed to be the queen/protector of this world, but she sucks at her job because the villain of the show, Christopher Lloyd, infects her with a virus. So now these 3 kids have to go on adventures using math principles to thwart the bad guy's plans to save Mommy Board. Motherboard?
Oh my gosh.
Mommy. Mom, come back. Mommy in the house. We need to save Mommy Board.
All right, that was bizarre. That was something.
And unlike all the other shows, this show had an overarching story. The kids would always get this close to saving Motherboard, but nothing they did worked. When I was a kid, I always wondered how much longer it would be until they finally saved her. And they never did. The show's been going on for 16 years. And they're still learning new math principles, trying to save Motherboard. I think they're at calculus at this point.
That's so crazy. Yeah, because you do think about that as a kid, where it's like these characters, they're working really hard and they're getting close to accomplishing their goal. Surely they're gonna just accomplish their goal and then the show just ends, right? But as an adult, I think, no, the show's doing well. They're gonna write it so that they are just not accomplishing their goal. They gotta just keep going for 10 more years. That's kind of insane. Like, dude, kids have grown up to be adults. They don't even care if they accomplish it anymore. And you still aren't making it happen. Like, nobody has been watching whatever show this is. Nobody's been watching it since from like when they were 8 to 24. Those people don't exist. You're leaving generations of people on the hook here. And that's mean.
The show is teaching you slower than an actual school. What kind of a show makes you wait 16 years for a conclusion? Cyber Chase does, and it's one of the best shows ever created.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. One last show I want to bring up is called Caillou. All you need to know about Caillou is that I hate him. Caillou is a 4-year-old and a demon. He constantly throws a tantrum whenever he doesn't get his way. Even in his theme song, he mentions how much of a brat he is. Growing up is not so tough, except when I've had enough. And then he's crying like a child. Well, you're gonna have to grow up, Caillou. The world doesn't revolve around you. Now you might be
Get him, James!
He's 4 years old. Of course he's gonna be a brat. And I agree, but a big problem with Caillou isn't the fact that he's a brat, but it's with his spineless parents.
Oh, no.
Caillou's mom just lets him get away with everything. Whenever I misbehaved, you know what happened to me? I had to go sit in the timeout corner. You know what happens to Caillou? Nothing!
Nothing! I think most adults agree that Caillou is a little brat. As soon as I became like not a toddler, I was like, man, I don't like Caillou. He annoys me. Like he's like a rude, annoying, whiny child. After the age of like 3, I just stopped resonating with that at all. And I feel like that's one of the first like childhood main characters that I just kind of threw away. Cause it's like you value the people and the characters from your childhood and you don't want to like grow up and think that they are the worst. But Caillou, I don't claim Caillou. I'm not a Caillou apologist.
I had to go sit in the timeout corner. You know what happens to Caillou? Nothing! Not once does Caillou ever get punished. It's always his mom just being like, Caillou, what you said wasn't very nice. Now go behave, okay? 0 out of 10 with the show with just the humans. I hate it. I just realized that all the shows I mentioned were animated, but there was a lot of non-animated shows that I still watched, but whatever.
And have all these adventures. But no, he's just talking about still watching TV just without a cable box. That's so crazy to me. He's constantly throwing these curveballs at me.
Now, as a die-hard PBS fanboy, I think I speak for everyone when I say that what PBS was missing was a crossover episode. How hard would it have been for the Clifford people and the Dragon Tales people to coordinate an episode where the 3-legged dog finds the dragon scale, he could dig it up out of the sand because dogs like to dig, except this dog wouldn't be that good at digging. And then he would meet up with a wheelchair dragon and they could be best friends. I would have loved that. As much as I'm joking about it, as a kid, I actually really wanted a crossover episode between the shows Clifford and Clifford's Puppy Days, which is another show that follows Clifford before he was interesting, when he was tiny, so before Emily Elizabeth loved him. So there was a bunch of new characters that all knew Clifford when he was little, and the two shows existed in the same universe, so it wouldn't have been that unbelievable for Clifford to visit his childhood home, and then all the other characters who used to call him Small or Squirt would see him now and be like, wow!
What?
What the happened to you? You see, it's funny because it's a kid's show and you wouldn't expect them to say that.
That's hilarious. Wait, are you saying it's the same dog, but older? Are you saying that he needs to time travel, or did he say something I'm missing? Cameron, I'm sure he did. You're gonna point it out real quick.
Yes, I will. So it wouldn't have been that unbelievable for Clifford to visit his childhood home. Visit his childhood home?
But hey, it's not much to ask for a crossover episode between shows, but it is asking a lot to make the characters travel through time. That is a little much, James.
I waited patiently for that crossover episode, but it never came.
That's sad.
But at least I have fan fiction. George, he wagged his tail and smiled. Clifford, it's so good to see you. He nuzzled him as a greeting. Nice to see you too. It's been over 7 years since I last saw you. Yeah, it had, Clifford said happily. George turned his back to the hill. Here I come. There's no quotation marks, by the way. He got ready to tackle him. He punched George off, and they rolled down. Then, when they got to the bottom, George pinned Clifford, who was panting.
Who wrote
this? Looked at the two of them, who seemed to be having a staring contest. So they decided to go somewhere else. Both laughed, and Clifford got off of him. He sat down and waited for George to stand up. So, what are we gonna do? the red dog said while quickly getting into a playing position.
Oh
Okay,
my
that's
g-
enough.
Okay, well, that's a minute of my life I'm never gonna get back. All right. What did I just watch? What was that? Anything I was planning on saying to sum up that video has now left my mind because of that ending. Anyways, the video as a whole was great. Again, not at all what I expected. And also, most of those shows I kind of didn't like. I kind of thought they were boring, but I appreciate James's experience. What are your childhood TV shows, or what were your childhood TV shows? Why don't you let me know in the comments, because that interests me. Another couple of classics. People, here is James's channel. Make sure you have checked it out. Here's the full playlist of times we've looked at the odd ones out. If you're missing any of these videos from your watch history, make sure you fill it in. Or here's a video that YouTube thinks you will like. Are they right? You let me know. People, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I love you, and goodbye.
It's going to be the best Christmas pageant ever.
That's a pageant I'd like to see.
Don't miss out. The annual Christmas pageant tickets are on sale now.
They're advertising it on TV now?
The pageant is an especially big deal this year. It's the 75th anniversary.
I want to give special mention to Grace for volunteering to direct it.
You did what?
Oh no. Did somebody die?
It's worse than that, son.
It's going to be the best Christmas pageant ever.
Oh no, it's the Hermans. Now. The Hermans are absolutely the worst kids in the history of the world.
What'd they do now, dear? Break another window?
Set something on fire?
Herdmans in church.
Oh boy.
We take the pageant seriously. It's about community and tradition.
What do you all suggest, that I kick the Herdmans out of the church?
Yes.
I want to be Mary, and Ralph wants to be Joe.
And the angel of the Lord?
Ow!
The Herdmans shouldn't be here.
They're a poor influence. You don't look like any Mary I've seen before.
Don't touch him. I'm happy to take over the part at any time.
I can't just kick him out.
I thought you...
Hi, do you want to know what my first video looked like? This is what my first video looked like. I just wanna play.
Seen before?
Don't touch him. I'm happy to take over the part at any time.
I can't just kick him out.
I thought you...
Hi, do you want to know what my first video looked like? This is what my first video looked like. I just wanna play.
Seen before?
Don't touch him. I'm happy to take over the part at any time.
I can't just kick him out.
I thought you...
Hi, do you want to know what my first video looked like? This is what my first video looked like. I just wanna play.
Seen before?
Don't touch him. I'm happy to take over the part at any time.
I can't just kick him out.
I thought you...
Hi, do you want to know what my first video looked like?
Seen before?
When you have rheumatoid arthritis, the smallest things can feel like the biggest obstacles, but Xeljanz may help. Xeljanz is for adults with moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis. Xeljanz is a pill, not an injection. So when you've taken a TNF blocker like Humira and it did not work well, know there are other treatment options like Xeljanz. Xeljanz can help relieve joint pain and swelling, stiffness, and help stop further joint damage. Some saw improvement within 2 weeks. Xeljanz helps some feel less RA fatigue. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma, skin and lung cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Xeljanz, as serious reactions have happened. With Xeljanz, small moments could become big wins. Pay as little as $0 per month. Ask your doctor about Xeljanz.
Yeah, as expected, pretty cringe. And so I had the brilliant idea of today, why don't we look at some other YouTubers' first videos? And in keeping with the theme of our recent videos, we are going to check out the first videos of some of the most legendary YouTube animators
that walk the face of the earth.
I don't know why I said it like that, but we are going to take a look back to the past.
Gonna take you back to the past.
To see if their first video was as cringy as my first video. I'm really excited. This is gonna be a lot of fun. I have picked 5 of the channels we have looked at recently to do this. The Odd Ones Out, Haminations, J-Done Animations, Let Me Explain Studios, and something else YT. To start us off, I think we have to start with the dude. The dude that got us started on this little animation adventure. James himself, the Odd Ones Out, and don't wear it out. And conveniently enough, since this is the first one in the video, why not, guys? Let's hit the theme song, okay? Robert Eddie K, Odd Ones Out, theme song.
Sometimes I feel like the odd one out, like no one knows what I'm talking about. So I just go and take a trip to Subway. Some things may keep me awake at night. Games my awful roommates and life. So I'll recline and go online with the odd ones out. I'll laugh a million times.
A book I made as a kid. I have no idea what that means. This looks like some watercolor. I really have no idea what this is. But literally, even the second video looks like it has a way better art style. But we are committing to looking at the first, so guys, prepare. This is gonna be interesting. Oh my gosh, it's not even widescreen. Let's hit it, people. 3, 2, 1.
So you know those books you make in elementary school that you write as a class and some publishing company makes them into a real book so your family can buy copies?
No!
Well, when I was in the 4th grade, we were assigned to write and illustrate a short story that we would make into a book. Now, I'm pretty sure most people wrote stories about normal things, like their dog or their friends. But I wrote a story that had the title of, I Do Not Like This Family.
Wow. Wait a minute. Am I correct in thinking, did The Odd Ones Out start as a webcomic? Because he has his art style already down. He already has his art style. What I will say though, his microphone skills, even worse than mine at the start. I was so bad at speaking into a microphone, speaking on camera, but man, James has come such a long way. All right, Mumbles McGee, let's see what you got. Let's hear this story with the questionable title.
I don't know for sure, but I bet this title made my teacher very worried. Here's what the cover looks like.
Wow.
Look, I'm so cute. As you can see here, I'm getting beaten up by my brother.
Wow.
Here, I'm being yelled at to wake up. And here, I'm looking out the window at kids having fun on their scooters while I have a list of chores to do right now. And if anyone's wondering, I had a great childhood. I guess I just really hated the chores my mom made me do. But anyway, time to get into the juicy stuff. Here's the story.
Chores. I barely even had to do chores as a kid. I didn't get an allowance though. We talked about this in the video about the clothes. James bought all his own clothes as a kid, which makes me assume that he at least had an allowance for his chores. I didn't have that many chores to do as a kid, but I didn't get an allowance, you know? My dad went to work and my mom stayed at home, so I feel like my mom, if she got all of her kids to do all the chores, then she would like have nothing to do. So I get it, Mom.
I Do Not Like This Family.
Okay.
By James Rowson. At school. Okay, class, time for recess, the teacher announced. Side note, the teacher banned the class from using the word said in any of our writing. So that's why there's a lot of awkward exclamations. James, TJ exclaimed. Where is Wesley?
Called it.
TJ and Wesley are real people that were actually my friends in 4th grade. Wesley moved to a different school, so we lost touch, but me and TJ are still friends. That Wesley over there? Boy, is he late, TJ
What are you gonna do with Wesley?
I don't know why I made all my friends talk like robots, but Wesley responds, "Hi guys, I had a dentist appointment. That is why I am so late."
Reasonable.
James, did you get my invitation? Yeah, James answered. Can you come? Wesley asked. No, James answered. Why not? Wesley asked. A reporter is coming in, so we have to clean up the house.
Man, so far, absolutely riveting story. Absolutely riveting, James. I'm on the edge of my seat. Boy, am I glad I picked this one first. So, okay, so here's, I guess, what I didn't account for. Not only are we watching James's first video himself, the production, the flow of it is a bit less smooth. We are listening to a story written by, like, 9-year-old James. We aren't just getting his oldest video, we're getting, like, his oldest video. The script written by a 9-year-old. So hey, if you're 9 years old watching this, as you're watching this video, think, could I write a better story than 9-year-old James? Entirely possible.
A reporter is coming in, so we have to clean up the house. And my mom is going to be on TV at 12 o'clock midnight,
Is that true?
James replied. I love how I never say why my mom will be on TV.
Yeah, why?
But if she's not letting me go to a friend's birthday party so I can clean the house?
Is this real?
She's probably doing something illegal. Who would want to stay awake for that long? Just for that, TJ exclaimed. And then my dear friend Wesley suggests, you could run away.
Oh.
Like, I don't even run away to the birthday party. I just run away in the middle of the night.
Just leave it all behind, James.
I will, James smiled. 11 a.m., time to go. I meant p.m. But if I go out the door, the alarm will go. The escape ladder, James thought. James went down the ladder and hid behind a bush. End of page 1.
Wow, that's a lot for page 1. I feel like every kid, they've watched TV or something that's made them fantasize about, what if I ran away? What if I ran away from home? And for the most part, if someone's family is okay and treats them well, pretty much every single time they run away and they realize, man, the streets are boring. There's no TV out here. There's nothing to do. I'm hungry. So many kids think about running away. And you kind of forget that, yeah, I can't watch YouTube videos in the grass. There's no iPad charger in the grass.
I'm gonna skip ahead a bit because it's more of me talking to myself, but basically I get hungry, I want to eat some berries that's 5 miles away. I find a $1 bill and decide to take the bus there. 1 hour later. Where is that bus? James exclaimed. Finally, the bus is here, James replied with relief. I didn't reply to anything. Sorry, kid. Your parents aren't around, the bus driver replied, refusing to let him ride. The bus driver didn't reply to anything either.
Well, you weren't allowed to say said. I understand. It's difficult, James. Cut yourself some slack. Teacher didn't let you say said. That's like trying to describe yourself without using the word I.
I'm 11 years old, James exclaimed. I was actually 9 when I wrote this. Apparently being 11 meant you were all big and tough and could ride buses by yourself.
Yeah.
I really looked up to 11-year-olds. So I go home, sleep, and in the morning I hear my dad say, "It's too bad your interview on the news was canceled,"
Yeah.
Dad replied sadly. I obviously don't know what the word reply is. So I get excited that my mom's interview was canceled and I can go to Wesley's birthday party. But then I scream, ow, in pain for some reason. And I'm in pain, and I say, I am going to be on my bed. So I'm on my bed. I rip up the dollar bill I found outside because I think it's unlucky. I also would like to point out that I used a semicolon in the right place.
Wow. I still don't know how to use a semicolon in the right place. I'm still not getting that. Listen, guys, spelling, writing, your boy, I take that very seriously. I'm very good at spelling and writing. Semicolons, I avoid like the plague. I avoid them like the plague. I don't know where they're going, but they ain't coming from my hands. They ain't coming from my hands.
So I call my dad, who in this story is a doctor, and he says, "Okay, son, does this hurt?" "Yeah," James answered. "Oh no," Dad exclaimed. So somehow my dad is able to successfully diagnose me by only asking if something hurts. Now, I don't know how real doctors diagnose people, but I'm pretty sure it's not like that. What is 9 I's, Z, 8 S's, and then a space, and then 3 Z's. And then I write, James said, as he fell asleep.
Oh, he fell asleep.
What happens next is such a big plot twist I bet none of you saw coming. As I'm laying on my bed unconscious, my dad says, kidney failed.
This thing? It's what's going on inside of me. It's my moderate to severe ulcerative colitis. It wasn't always this calm. You see when everywhere I...
Then it's followed by 4 frowny face emoticons in parentheses. I can't believe that my 9-year-old mind somehow knew what kidney failure was. Where did I learn this?
Kidney failure. Honestly, if it were me, South Park. I watched South Park way too young. I knew a lot of things way too young. That's what it would have been for me personally. South Park, I could have talked about more than some kidney failure, I'll tell you that.
Later at the hospital, he had an operation. He lost both of his kidneys, the nurse exclaimed.
Oh no.
I'll donate a kidney, James's brother exclaimed. And then I think to myself, kidney, kidney, kidney.
Then he grew one.
Those words just repeated and repeated
He grew
in his
one
mind.
again.
James could not believe his ears. His brother in parentheses, the one who beat him up, close parentheses, liked him. Okay, so this story just turned somewhat heartwarming. I wonder what I'll say next. After the operation, James and his brother had trouble going to the bathroom. Yeah, how did I know so much about an organ to urinate? Okay, last sentence. James found out how much his family cared for him.
Aww.
I think your family cares for you too.
Aww.
Actually, I remember that line. Yeah, my teacher made me write that in.
Yeah, wait, so where does it relate to the title? That is the biggest plot twist of the story. The story being called, I really, really don't like this family.
I really wish I weren't here right now.
And then the ending being, my family's great. That is a bigger plot twist than Darth Vader being Luke's father. My dude, he got so much better so fast. I mean, that one was deceiving because that was literally a story from when he was 9, but just the presentation of this. In like 2 years, he improved so much, it's insane. That was awesome. Ooh, Luigi. From writing a book as a kid to a whole Netflix show. Awesome work, dude. I cannot do a Luigi accent, I'm sorry. Well, as painful as that kind of was, I think that got better as it went. I got invested. And it's kind of nice to see the beginnings of all these incredible channels. All these channels are so good. And I think it's also important for viewers to understand how much work all this stuff takes. You know? Like, people may even watch like one of my videos and be like, oh, this looks easy, I could do that. But no, go back to my first videos, see how absolutely horrible they were. And then you realize, oh, it took 6 years of doing that to become this. I think it's really cool to see the development of people. So next up, we've got a really short one. Rebecca Parham. I'm going to say her name right this time. Last video, I said Parham. Rebecca Parham.
Come on, man.
And I immediately, upon rewatching the footage where she's saying Parham, I'm like, oh my gosh, did I really just do this? I'm never going to make that mistake, Rebecca. Parham. Anyways, let me explain Studios. First video with a whopping 2-minute length, Beef Wee, a Pokemon parody. Now, unlike the odd ones out, it looks like she did not have her art style decided on yet. Even this that looks a little bit more like her current stuff, she had a mouth. Come on, what are you doing? Who draws mouths, Rebecca? Anyways, let's knock this one out. And this goes without saying, people, but make sure you are subscribed and checking out all of these channels. As usual, I'm just the guy saying the silly things. These people put in all the hard work to make these videos, so make sure you show them some love. All the links will be in the description. I can't fit all the links at the end of the video. YouTube just won't let me. So please make sure you go through the description and make sure you're subscribed to all these people. Beef Wee, 3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna beat a Pokemon Master!
Oh my gosh.
You battle! But I didn't even look at you. We fight now! Fine.
Oh my gosh.
You battle! But I didn't even look at you. We fight now! Fine.
Oh my gosh.
You battle! But I didn't even look.
Yes, yes, people. You read the title, and we're back. Looking at more Let Me Explain Studios. Now, first.
Spellbook. Pink dress. Crystal ball. Bunny ears. Soup. Wizard hat. Toy gun. Brass knuckles. Chocolate. Star ones. Amulets. Cheesecake. Gifts. Tridents. Nets. Bell. Party mask. Bow. Frying pan. Fairy dust. Starball. Hero sword. Chocolate brownie.
Bingo!